I know I'm a bit late to the trend, but better late than never, right? Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are making mini matcha hug roll cakes. This trend was kind of around autumn last year, and all they are sponge drops, that's flat round cakes that have been folded a little bit and stuffed with cream and fruit. And I've been meaning to make these for ages but just never got round to it. And then last week I made my Sandokan UFO tarts and I thought, these sponge drops I'm making for these UFO tarts could actually be used for hug roll cakes. They're really light and spongy and flexible as well. The recipe for the sponge drops is more or less the same as for my Sandokan UFO tart, although I have scaled it down to 2 egg whites instead of 3, and obviously added matcha, but I used a slightly different technique to make the sponge. With my UFO tarts, I did a very traditional meringue technique where you whip the egg whites first and then you add the sugar in and then carry on whipping. In this one, I got lazy, I just added the egg whites and the sugar together and I just went for it. And it still created a perfectly lovely meringue to fold the rest of their ingredients in. The only downside is it takes a tiny bit longer, but to be honest, if you're doing it the first way where you're whipping the egg whites by themselves first until they form stiff peaks, and then add the sugar and whip it until it's glossy, overall I think the time's the same, so it just depends how you're feeling, how you want to do it. Also, because I added matcha to the mixture is a bit stiffer because matcha sucks up all that moisture, so the end mixture does create a bit of a rougher top after you bake them, whereas for the UFO tarts they were very smooth and perfect. But it doesn't matter because you're going to be folding them up anyway, and no one's going to notice, to be honest. This recipe is even quicker than the Sandokan UFO tarts, and they are packable too, as you'll see in a minute, so they're perfect for bringing with you to someone's house, or to a party, or a house party, or to someone's house for a party. You get what I mean. So let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. Let's get our oven preheated, and we're going to set it to 180 degrees C. Now I've got 2 egg whites here. I've already used up the egg yolks, I made some custard with it, but you can do anything with it. You can also make some eggnog with my eggnog recipe, although I know it's not Christmas anymore, but eggnog is for all seasons, not just for Christmas. And I'm going to add 55 grams of caster sugar and a little pinch of salt. And now I'm going to give this a whiz until it forms stiff white peaks like we're making a meringue. Future Tash voiceover here. I actually tried this recipe again using the traditional meringue method of whipping the egg whites first before the sugar and then adding the sugar, but it ended up the exact same way, so I really don't think it matters here. Next I'm going to sift in 25 grams of plain flour and a tablespoonful of matcha. And now we're gently going to fold this together. And now, just like we did with the Sandokan UFO tarts, we're going to drop spoonfuls, making sure that we're leaving enough space for them to spread onto our lined baking tray. And this is non-stick baking paper. If you can use this silicone stuff or the reusable stuff, that's even better, because then you're sure for it not to stick. And we're just dropping on spoonfuls. Now we're going to bake these for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're puffy and lightly golden. Now these are all baked, we're going to let them cool completely. But while they cool, I am going to actually cover them with some kitchen paper, because they're very light and airy and I don't want them to dry out. Now that they're cool, I am just going to loosen them from the non-stick baking paper. Oh, lovely and spongy. Now here for the filling I have 200 millilitres of whipping cream. I'll add in 1 tablespoonful of caster sugar, and we'll also sift in a tablespoonful of matcha. Now we're going to give this a whiz. So what I have here is one of our sponge cakes, one of our sponge drops, and we're actually going to take a cupcake case. This is going to give us a hand. Fit it in there. And I'm going to use that to help us create a little bit of a curve, just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to pipe our cream straight in there, just like this. And then we're going to give it a wave. Lovely. And now, last of all, but not least, I'm going to pop some strawberry slices in it. Maybe just 3, because these are small. 2. Actually, 2's enough. These are small bite-sized ones anyway. And I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of them. And because I'm a very silly Billy, I forgot to do that last bit of filming after I did my still shots, but I did do the slow-mo, so look at how soft that is. Okay, but how cute is this? It's bite-sized! Well, 2 bite-sized, depending on how big your mouth is. It's surprisingly light as well, like holding a little cloud. Kind of reminds me of a boat as well. This is going to be utter cream carnage when I bite into it, so I've got me a little plate here, and I'm going to try and be careful, so cheers! Excuse me. That's such a fun experience because the sponge is so light and airy. And the cream is whipped cream, so it's also really airy too. This is a great cake if you don't like heavy cakes. Now the sponge doesn't look that green from the outside, and at first glance it doesn't look like there's that much matcha in, despite the amount we know that we added. But if you look on the inside, it is quite dark. And I think that's to do with all the air we whipped in. It makes it look paler than it actually is, especially when it bakes. So don't worry, there's plenty of matcha in there. And obviously matcha and strawberry is a classic combination, you can never go wrong. So this made 8 hug rolls in total. Feel free to double the recipe if you need more, or if you want to make bigger ones. And as you can see, it was super simple to make. If you prefer, you can always skip the matcha and follow the recipe for the Sanakandi Buffet tarts instead and have plain vanilla sponge. And fill it with whatever you like, a bit of cream, other fruits, blueberries, pineapple, mango would work really well as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com and follow me on Instagram. I'm tashcakes.taste, and I'm Food in Slow Motion on TikTok too. At least they've stopped drilling outside now, but now they're just banging. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you liked it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you guys next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Can you see the sponge in there? Ooh.